leads that you need, or is it something else? Something that you're not considering that could exponentially grow your school or your academy? That is what we're going to do in this video. I'm actually going to give you 3 different things that are going to help. Number 1, we're going to talk about the biggest follow-up mistakes from leads that you've already generated and how to avoid it. Number 2, we're going to talk about how to build trust. Okay, how to make sure that the leads that you're getting actually trust you enough to come in and try out a class or to experience what you have to offer. And then we're also going to be talking about a proven system to follow up on leads and what you should be doing so that you can get the max amount of new students from the leads that you generated. Hey everybody, if you're new here, my name is Jennifer Waters. I'm one of the co-founders of Figure Dojo, and I've been helping school and academy owners since 2020 be able to help their schools, their academies grow exponentially. It all started back in the day when my own family was about to close our school's doors until we started implementing what we now call the 7-Figure Dojo method. That method of marketing and sales was the magic that allowed us to go from a few $1,000s a month to over $1 million a year. We've been accomplishing that in our flagship school for the last 15 years and counting. And today, I want to dive into these topics that I was talking to you about. That leads may not be your issue, but what may be your actual issue are some of these other things that we mentioned earlier. So let's dig into it. By the way, if you are joining me live right now, I love seeing you guys out there live. So hashtag live for me in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. We get people from all over the world watching, and hashtag replay if you catch this on the replay as well. Okay, so let's dig in. I have a really interesting stat that I want to make sure that I communicate to you guys. So according to research by InsideSales.com, leads contacted within 5 minutes are 100 times more likely to connect with that salesperson than those contacted 30 minutes later. I don't know about you, but 100-time increase is something that I want. I want more than likely. I'm going to win this fight 100 times more effectively. Heck yeah, I want that. And what I find is that there's a lot of reasons why this doesn't actually happen for most school and academy owners. Because if you're like me, you are literally running around like I was back in the day, trying to teach classes, trying to clean the school, trying to make sure that we call back the parent who was upset about something that we did in the class or didn't do in the class. We got to make sure that we're doing the payroll. We got to make sure that we're taking care of the things that we need to take care of in our own home life, in our personal life. And so when a lead comes in, it just seems like never is going to be the right time to actually follow up with them. And maybe you've even tried to be consistent before. I'm going to time block this. I'm going to call back leads. I'm going to call them back between 1 and 2 o'clock. Whoever I get, I get. And that used to work. It did. It used to work. I would say pre-COVID, you could get away with that. You could time block and have a certain time frame that all the leads were going to be reached out to and that you were going to do that. But now, speed to lead is everything. Being able to get in contact with somebody who's just submitted their information is very important. And like the statement said, let's flip it. You're 100 times less likely to be able to connect with a lead if you do so 30 minutes after they first opted in. And what is an opt-in? It's when somebody puts their information in your website, or if you're using Facebook, Instagram advertising, like we recommend as part of our marketing triangle strategy, then you're going to want to make sure that you're collecting that information. It's coming directly to you so you can reach out. Again, the volume game is something that's challenging because the other mistake that I see is that people don't follow up frequently enough. And if you stick with me, I'm going to tell you how to get around both of these things. But let me read off this stat for you. Studies indicate that about 80% of sales require at least 5 follow-ups before the deal is closed. Yet many sales reps give up after just 1 contact. Now, I'm going to read one more. According to Velocify, sales reps who make 6 or more follow-up attempts see conversion rates up to 70% higher than those who only make 1 or 2 attempts. What does this mean? Well, it means that you're not going to get them the first time you call. If you did, or the first time you text, if you did, man, it would be no problem at all filling up your school, your academy with students, right? Because they're picking up the phone, they're setting an appointment, they're coming in for your trial or your evaluation lesson. They're doing all these things. But the reality is that it just doesn't work like that. So what do you do to combat this? Do you do time blocks? Do you call every single lead as soon as they come in? Do you like set up some sort of text automation? Do you set up times to call back people? Like, what does it look like? Yes, it's all of those things. I want to show you how to do this in stages though, because I think it's so important to remember that you have to break through. You have to break through the noise. So if you just think all my leads, they're inundated with noise in their social life, inundated with noise from their kids' lives, inundated with noise from social media, and they're just their everyday life. When I keep that in mind, I don't take it personal when someone doesn't pick up the phone or when someone doesn't respond to a text. I just go, oh, they are really busy. That's probably what's going on. Because I know that they are really busy. Or they don't trust enough because they haven't seen a whole lot around and they don't know what they're getting into. So if you keep both those things in mind, it'll help you a lot. The way that we share with our clients to be able to really focus on this maximum lead pickup and this maximum lead follow up is number one, you got to be tracking it. So if they're just going on, post it notes or you're just keeping a list on your phone, that's not going to be the best way and the most efficient way to make sure that you're actually able to follow up on all the leads that you generate. So you want to be tracking it. Now, our clients, a lot of them have our software that actually allows you to be able to follow up instantly utilizing AI technology. So as soon as that lead comes in, the AI employee goes out and starts trying to connect automatically with those leads and starts trying to move forward in that process. So there is that. The other thing that if you're not using AI technology, then at least keep a spreadsheet, at least keep something like that in order to follow up. And I think it's very important if you are running marketing with another company or something like that, and you're just checking us out, you don't know, maybe maybe we should switch this up at Figure Dojo. When you're doing this, something that's a gold standard for us is that not only is it going to a spreadsheet that is easy to track, we've got a spreadsheet system there that actually helps be able to follow up on leads accurately and effectively. Not only do we have that, but we also have text notifications that are going out so that way you're able to follow up on leads very effectively. So this is the some of the mistakes that I see. I think the next thing we need to talk about is how to build trust, how to build connection with that lead. And this also goes to what are you doing outside of just digital marketing? Are you actually in the community? Do people know about you? And I think a mistake that local businesses can make is to believe that our brand, our name is actually something everybody recognizes. Now, just to give you a great example, my family has owned a martial arts school and we've been in martial arts in my town since 1982. That's when my dad first started the school. Now, we broke through and hit our first $1 million year about 15 years ago. So you would think 15 years being in the community at a really high level, doing a lot of things in the community, having hundreds and hundreds of students, that people would know about us. But the reality is my community is very large, it's very transient. And I was reminded the other day when um, I was talking with somebody, they had come out to my house for a service that I had paid for, them to do with my horse actually, and they didn't know what my name of my school was. They didn't know that it even existed. And it was very telling of me that even though we've existed for 15 plus years at $1 million level, we are not connecting with every single person. So the vast majority of people in your town don't know who you are, they don't know what you do. You have a very small footprint. So you've got to constantly work on increasing that footprint, being at community events, having your name out there, not just your name, but constantly being top of mind. Um, it's so important for you to be able to build trust so that when that person does finally click on your ad or does go to your website, now, oh my goodness, they are ready to make a decision and they're ready to move forward. Now, the other thing that I wanted to make sure that you guys walked away from with this video is a proven system for lead follow up for building that trust. So if you haven't got a pen or a pencil out yet, go ahead and do that. And by the way, if you've gotten a lot of value out of this video so far, do me a favor and drop value in the comments for me. Let me know. Is this stuff that you guys are getting value out of? Is this helpful? I would love to know. Just drop value in the comments for me. The final thing here is our proven system for follow up. So, this is a system to make sure that you're maximizing the first 3 days maybe you don't have 5 to 7 days to follow up. That's a long time to follow up, especially when you start stacking leads. You're hitting 100 leads a month and you're doing multiple follow-ups, per day. And the length of the days, that's a lot of follow-ups. That's a lot of phone calls. And maybe you don't have a call center. Maybe you don't have somebody who can just stay on the phone all day. So we have something called the 3-2-1 strategy for following up on leads. So the first 3 days, you're going to call for 3 times a day for the first 3 days. You're going to commit to that. You're going to call as soon as the lead comes in. You're going to call again, ideally in the afternoon, maybe right around when school gets out for most parents, as 3 to 4. And then you're going to call again later in the evening after things have settled down. So 6:30, 7 o'clock, and you're going to try to call them. So you're going to do that 3 times for 3 days. Now, on the second and the third day, I would do morning, I would do lunch, and then I would do like after work hours. So you could try to get in touch with them that way. Every day, you're going to send 2 text messages. So that first call of the day, it's like, hey, just try calling, blah, 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 right? And then that second call of the day, you're not going to leave a text. You're going to leave a voicemail, which is the one. So I'm going to leave a voicemail on that second call of the day. And then the third call of the day, I'm going to send another text message. So I've got 3 phone calls, 2 text messages, one at the beginning, one at the end, and a voicemail that's wedged in that middle call. And I want to do that for 3 days. Now, that's going to give you a lot of touch points. That's going to give you a lot of velocity when it comes to being able to follow up on these leads and get people answering the phones. The biggest challenge I see is that people have is not that they're not generating leads. And a lot of times it goes back to, well, these leads aren't great quality. They're not picking up the phone. It's not even about that. It's not that the leads aren't great quality. A lead at this stage is just someone who's raised their hand and said, yeah, I'm interested. The difference maker is the amount of follow up that you put into following up on these leads to get them booked in. And a great quote is, we always fall to the level of our systems and we don't rise to the level of our goals. Meaning, if you're not getting your goals, if you're not achieving your goals, it's probably because your systems that you've established aren't actually allowing it.